The philosopher's journey. From slave to sage. Imagine being born into slavery, your body owned by another human being, your every movement controlled by someone else's will. This was Epictetus's reality, a lame slave in the Roman Empire, physically broken, yet spiritually unbreakable. While his body served a master, his mind served only truth. And in this unimaginable confinement, he discovered the most profound freedom a human can know. The former slave, who became one of history's greatest teachers, knew something we often forget. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. While chains bound his ankles, his mind soared in realms no tyrant could touch. He taught what he lived. No man is free who is not master of himself. Imagine that. A slave teaching emperors about true freedom. How is it possible that a man who owned nothing, who started with less than any of us, could become a beacon of wisdom that still illuminates our path 2,000 years later? What did Epictetus understand about freedom that we, in our comfortable modern lives, have somehow forgotten? The dichotomy of control. The core Stoic principle. Epictetus begins his legendary Enchiridion with what may be the most liberating sentence ever written. Some things are up to us. Some things are not up to us. In this simple distinction lies the key to ending most human suffering. Our opinions, our desires, our aversions, our judgments, these are up to us. Everything else, our bodies, our possessions, our reputations, other people's opinions, these are not up to us. Modern neuroscience confirms what Epictetus knew intuitively. Anxiety flourishes in the gap between what we can control and what we try to control. When we misplace our focus, when we exhaust ourselves trying to manage the unmanageable, we become psychological slaves to circumstance. Epictetus warns us. Remember then, that if you think the things that are by nature slavish to be free, and the things that are in others' power to be your own, you will be hindered. You will mourn. You will be disturbed. You will blame both gods and men. The freedom he offers isn't freedom from challenge, but freedom from unnecessary suffering about challenge. It's the freedom to focus your energy where it actually makes a difference. The mind as fortress. Internal sovereignty. Epictetus taught that your mind can become an impenetrable fortress that no external circumstance can breach. He declared, "You may fetter my leg, but Zeus himself cannot get the better of my free will." This isn't metaphorical poetry. It's practical psychology, from a man who lived it. The Stoic concept of prohairesis, your moral character, your faculty of choice, is the core of this internal sovereignty. While everything external can be taken from you, your ability to choose your response remains inviolable. Epictetus reminds us, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This internal fortress doesn't make you invulnerable to pain, but it makes you invincible to meaninglessness. As the former slave knew better than anyone, circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. Your true power isn't in changing your circumstances, but in choosing who you become within them. Practical framework. Daily Stoic exercises. Epictetus wasn't interested in theoretical philosophy. He taught practical exercises for daily living. Start each morning with what he called the discipline of desire and aversion. Ask yourself, what is within my power today? What is beyond it? This mental preparation acts as philosophical sunscreen, protecting you from burning energy on what you cannot change. Practice the 3 Stoic disciplines. Assent. Examining your impressions before accepting them. Desire. Directing your wants toward what's truly good. And action. Engaging with the world according to your principles. Epictetus guides us. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Transform reactive moments into proactive choices. When faced with irritation, remember, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. When tempted by distraction, recall, no great thing is created suddenly. These aren't just quotes to admire, they're mental muscles to exercise daily until they become your automatic response to life. Emotional mastery. Transforming perceptions. Epictetus reveals the secret behind emotional turbulence. Men are disturbed, not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Your anxiety, your anger, your fear, these aren't caused by events, but by your judgments about events. This insight is emotionally revolutionary. Practice examining your impressions like a scientist examining data. When you feel disturbed, ask Epictetus's question. What is this to me? Separate the raw event from your story about the event. He teaches, on the occasion of every accident that befalls you, remember to turn to yourself and inquire what power you have for turning it to use. This emotional recalibration transforms victims into architects. Where you once saw problems, you begin to see training grounds. Epictetus, who turned his slavery into his greatest teacher, shows us how. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. Social philosophy. Relating with wisdom. In relationships, Epictetus offers profound guidance. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone. This isn't passive acceptance. It's active invulnerability to others' opinions. His approach to social dynamics combines compassion with boundaries. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Yet he also teaches radical acceptance of others as they are. Other people's views and troubles can be contagious. Don't sabotage yourself by adopting negative attitudes through your associations. In family, friendship, and social life, remember his wisdom. Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolishness. This perspective frees you from the exhausting dance of judgment and defense, allowing you to engage with others from a place of unshakable inner peace, purpose, and meaning. Epictetus redefines purpose not as achieving external goals, but as living virtuously, regardless of circumstances. He teaches, seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. Your purpose isn't something you find in the world. It's something you bring to the world through your character. Living according to nature means recognizing your role in the larger human community. Epictetus guides. Imagine for yourself a character, a model personality, whose example you have determined to follow, in private as well as in public. Your purpose is to become that person, moment by moment, choice by choice. Even in difficulty, meaning emerges. What concerns me is not the way things are, but the way people think things are. Your power lies not in changing reality, but in choosing your relationship to reality. As Epictetus, who found profound purpose in teaching while physically limited, demonstrates, it is better to die of hunger having lived without grief and fear than to live with a troubled spirit amid abundance. Integration. Living the Enchiridion. Epictetus's Enchiridion, his handbook, wasn't meant to be read, but to be lived. Its power emerges not in understanding, but in application. He reminds us, whoever is going to listen to the philosophers needs a considerable practice in listening. This practice is your path to freedom. Start small, but start today. Choose one Epictetus teaching each morning and carry it through your day like a spiritual compass. When frustrated, recall, it's not what happens to you, but how you react. When anxious, remember, The dichotomy of control. When judging others, consider: to accuse others for one's own misfortune is a sign of want of education. Epictetus's final wisdom might be this: only the educated are free. But his definition of education has nothing to do with degrees and everything to do with self-mastery. The education that makes you free is the education of your character, your judgments, your responses. 2,000 years later, the lame slave still walks among us, his words cutting through our modern complexities with startling clarity. His chains are gone, but his wisdom remains, waiting for you to pick up where he left off, to continue the work of building your inner citadel, to discover that the freedom he promised isn't in some distant future, but in your very next choice.